Rusty Starlands. Book 1. The Tree and the Kindling. Prologue under the Canopy. Section 2. Building an oasis on the red wastes. The control room door slid shut in the wake of Seraphine's departure. A thin line of searing white light stretched across the floor for a brief moment, then faded. Tao stood quietly before the light screen. His fingers still rested on his wristwatch, as if the next movement had yet to be issued. Lin stood a short distance away. She watched him in silence for a second, then flipped open the datapad in her left hand and tapped it lightly against her palm twice. The sound was soft, but sharp enough to cut a narrow seam through the stagnant air. She spoke without hesitation.
The crows may have tampered with the spinal matrix of one of the trees,
she said, her voice clear and steady.
3 days ago, a watch officer along the southern border reported seeing suspicious drones operating near the A50 to maintenance point.
Watching Lin's calm, professional composure, Tao felt a flicker of envy rise within him. Those born on Mars carried no burden from the blue-grey world 200 million kilometers away. They were, in a sense, the first truly free generation. The environment here was brutally unforgiving, but it was theirs. Mars lay too far from the sun. Its average temperature hovered around -50 degrees Celsius. Most of the time, humans survived underground, sheltering within the natural cavities of ancient lava tubes, even with the protection of the sky-crowned trees. Human activity on the surface was confined to only a few hundred hectares beneath each canopy. Tao walked to the observation window. Through the electronic telescope feed, Earth hovered at the far edge of the sky like a rotting fruit, wrapped in a grey fungal shroud. AI factories still churned out synthetic proteins and nanofabrics without pause. But the planet's surface had long since been swallowed by hive-like slums. Hundreds of billions from the surplus classes were packed into vertical cages, kept alive by crude virtual reality pods that fed dopamine directly into their systems. Only the Federation identity chips embedded at the backs of their necks reminded them that they were still considered part of human civilization.
Sometimes I wonder,
Tao said quietly, more to himself than to anyone else,
whether Met is truly our last hope for survival, or simply the final power play of an arrogant species.
He knew the question was not meant for Lin. To her, the fate of billions on that distant world amounted to little more than a dry line of numbers on a terminal. The Martian-born had never set foot on Earth. Their dreams held no image of a shattered homeworld, no pull of lost gravity. Their blood had dried in this red desert long ago, settling like ancient rust deep within their genes, beyond empathy.
Chief Engineer,
Lin said, breaking the silence, her voice edged with undisguised impatience.
I strongly recommend we inspect the A50 to spinal matrix immediately. If the facility has been tampered with by the crows and triggers an uncontrolled cascade overload, the impact won't be limited to this base. It will affect every reactor beneath every tree.
Lin's calm, concise report pulled Tao back from the tangle of his thoughts. Power struggles, political maneuvering, the calculations and destinies spun on Earth. None of these were ever things he handled well. He was far more at ease with clear parameters, testable causality, and systems he could see and measure as they ran. The rise and fall of the distant homeworld had always felt separated from him by an unreachable layer of abstraction. Only the red soil beneath his feet felt real enough to unsettle him.
Can human civilization truly continue from Mars?
Tao's gaze lingered on Lin for a brief moment. She stood straight, already accustomed to placing her weight on the ground beneath her, rather than on futures that had yet to arrive. The answer had already settled within him.
Prepare to move,
Tao said.
We're going under the tree.
To leave the oval control room, both of them had to don Mars-rated thermal suits. Although the sky-crowned trees had made the surface marginally more hospitable after nearly a century of environmental transformation, Mars remained a world hostile to life. For reasons known only to her physiology, Lynn required almost no supplemental oxygen. Her lungs had adapted to the planet's thin, barren atmosphere. Tao was different. He had never truly adapted to this red wasteland. He needed a sealed mask and constant monitoring of his oxygen intake.
When my brain runs at full capacity, it burns through more oxygen than a marathon,
Tao liked to say of himself. The claim sounded unscientific, even absurd, yet it carried a peculiar, almost obsessive self-awareness. It was difficult to imagine such an offhand comparison coming from House Karen, a technocratic family famed for rigor and precision. Lynn never argued with him about it. She knew that although her Earth-born superior was taciturn and awkward with words, he cared more deeply for this land and its people than anyone else she had ever met. The lives of 7.5 million Martians rested on his shoulders. He had to remain clear-headed at all times, capable of making the most exact decisions possible. Her role was to make sure he could.
I'll adjust the sensitivity on your filter valve sensors,
she said. She worked on his equipment with swift, practiced motions, almost as if she were tending to a younger brother. The instinct ran deep. Lynn came from a household full of siblings, and on Mars, taking care of others was a survival skill, not a kindness. Tao, for all his brilliance, was utterly alien when it came to daily life. He had never truly learned how to live on Mars. Without Lynn's steady hand, he probably wouldn't last a week.